those shouts of human dignity are being heard across the region. And through the moral force of nonviolence, the people of the region have achieved more change in 6 months than terrorists have accomplished in decades.
President Obama on Thursday in his first major speech on the uprisings in the Middle East. Israel, of course, though, ate up most of the headlines here. But in many respects, the Arab uprising presents the White House with a more immediate and urgent set of policy questions. The revolution is happening now, and my guest today is caught right in the middle. He is King Abdullah of Jordan, a key American ally, and the author of a new book, Our Last Best Chance: The Pursuit of Peace in a Time of Peril. I sat down with him earlier this week. King Abdullah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Christian.
How do you describe what's going on? Is it a wake-up call for yourself and other world leaders in that region?
Definitely it's a wake-up call, and this is a new and definitely defining moment for the Middle East. Which way the Middle East goes, I hope, reaching out to the aspirations of the youth. This will be a good story when we look back on it years from now.
What is it that you are being asked to wake up to, and what can you do about it?
Well, there's two aspects of this. Obviously, when this all started in Tunis, was because of the world economic crisis. A large proportion of youth in the Middle East that are suffering from economic hardships, that want a better life. So it was economic frustration and desires that led, I think, to a political awakening, that they want to be able to chart their own destiny.
The latest polls say about 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of Jordanians want democracy. What are you, as King Abdullah, going to do to realize that dream?
From right at the beginning of this, we brought all sectors of society together. We created what we called the national dialogue to all sit around the table and decide what it is that Jordanians want. The committee has embarked on two laws, a new election law, a new political party law, which is, I think, critical for the future of Jordan. We'll have new elections at the end of the year, and it'll be the start of new democracy in our country.
In Jordan, 13% of the people polled say they have a positive view of the United States. Americans are concerned that a new democracy in your country and elsewhere could be an Islamist, scary future. Do you feel that that is possible in Jordan?
Not in Jordan. It could be possible elsewhere. In my particular position, I have the responsibility to lead the debate in the right direction. And I think Jordan will move towards the light. I have no worries about Jordan. I don't know how in other countries they're developing, and each country in the Middle East is different. You alluded to the United States not being very popular, but again, we've got to remember the reason, I think for the most part, where America is not popular is because it's perceived lack of ability to move the Israeli-Palestinian process forward.
In your book, you're pretty relentless about criticizing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Is he an obstacle to peace?
Well, in my discussions with him, and they've been, I think, very thorough, when he speaks to me, I see his vision of peace with the Palestinians, peace with the Arabs, and I've always left those meetings feeling very optimistic. But unfortunately, the circumstances that we've seen on the ground for the past 2 years does not fill me with much hope. I just have a feeling that we're going to be living with the status quo for 2011, and as you well know, whenever we accept the status quo, we do so until there is another war. And so that is of tremendous concern to me.
Do you feel that there might be another war?
Well, if you look to the past 10 years, every 2 to 2.5 years, there's either the intifada or a war or a conflict. So looking back over the past 12 years, my experience shows me that if we ignore the Israeli-Palestinian issue, something will burst.
Israel is saying that it cannot have peace talks with a group like Hamas, who they deem as terrorists. America as well deems Hamas to be a terrorist organization. And yet before, everybody was saying we can't have peace talks because the Palestinians are divided. How to get beyond that?
Well, look, if I can play the devil's advocate here, I wish that our Israeli colleagues would, pick one argument and bloody well stick to it. Because, over the past couple of years, the Israelis were saying, well, Abbas is not a partner for peace because he doesn't represent the Palestinian people, and therefore we're not prepared to move forward. Abbas has now made reconciliation with Hamas, does represent the Palestinian people, and the Israeli argument is, well, we can't deal with him because of Hamas. Abbas has been very clear that Hamas will not be part of the government. They will not have any role in the security apparatus in the West Bank, which is important for the United States. It's important for Jordan because we have worked tirelessly together to train the Palestinian security forces. Christiane, it's always easy to find an excuse why not to do the right thing. If we continue along those lines, then we will never solve this problem. And at the end of the day, it's going to be the Arabs and Israelis that are going to pay the ultimate price. You have seen our region for how many decades have we suffered from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So we need leaders with courage to take the tough decisions and solve this once and for all.
Let's talk about some of the neighboring states. Syria is obviously in a pretty bad state right now. There's violent repression of people who want democracy. Many people thought that Bashar al-Assad was a reformer. Would you say he's a reformer?
Well, today he has a major challenge of how do you reach out to the people and bring them on the table. That hasn't happened in Syria, and I think to turn things around and bring calm and stability, dialogue, national reconciliation, outreach is the only way that you could do so.
Is Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, in charge?
I've talked to him on several occasions to see what Jordan can do to bring stability and obviously calm to Syria. And from my discussions with him, and from what I hear, he is in charge, yes, and he is calling the shots. I think Bashar needs to reach out to the people and get people around the table. I learned from His late Majesty King Hussein,
your father,
my father, is to keep as close to the people as possible. And on a weekly basis, I go out and visit different sectors of society. I sit down with people from all walks of life, and we discuss all the issues that are relevant to them.
The Queen Rania, has been rather viciously attacked in Jordan. In your book, you write that you have an equal partnership. Why is she being attacked, and are there any merits to the grounds that there have been land grabs that she's organized for her family or other corruptions?
Everything that I've heard is absolutely ludicrous and very sad when many Jordanians know what she has done for women, for children, not only in Jordan but across the region and further afield. I think we're in an atmosphere where anybody that wants to look at destabilizing Jordan and having a go at me, looking at a weaker link and having a go at Rania, I think has been very sad for all of us that people would stoop to that level.
Does she have any powers to pick certain ministers or civil servants?
She has never ever gotten involved in the government. Her mandate, if there is any, has always been education. I'm hoping that our society will wake up to this and put a stop to this, because it's become so destructive in Jordan. Not just Rania, many people have been accused by people that just feel that they can get away with it.
Majesty, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.